So you can see the screen, right? Okay, so today the topic of the paper is convolutional networks with adaptive inference graphs, and it was presented on 2018, and it was a ECCV conference paper. So the main theme of this paper is that, for example, if we have a normal image of a dog and the model has, for example, hundreds of layers. So the initial few layers takes into accordance all the broad features of that image, but there are few layers in the model that takes care of the specific and high level details, like the fine grained details, sorry. So why can't the model be designed in such a way that the dog image first of all passes through the high level features, and then instead of going into other layers that are not very important for the dog species classification, directly goes to few layers that are specifically made for dog species classification. So image going through all these intermediate layers would be a waste of both computational energy and time. So not currently, till the paper was published, there was fixed feed forward structures in CNNs, and all the like the image inputted need to be passed through all the layers. So for example, if we have two different images, so all both the images need to be passed through all the layers, right? So what this paper proposed was that why can't there be such a modification in the model, so that the model on the fly itself decides which layer is necessary for the model itself to classify. So this can be done by, like, first of all, model needs to know about the image a little bit, then needs to decide whether the further layers are important or not, right? So what they had proposed is a gated mechanism, and first of all, to tell you all, this whole paper was based on ResNet structures, and they had proposed a change in the ResNet structure itself. So they mentioned that adding a gate to the ResNet layer would help, and like would produce a discrete value of 0 and 1 to like decide whether the layer is important or not. So, why did they even think of this? Was that a paper was published which mentioned that if a model is fully trained on ResNet layer and removing few blocks of ResNet, like the residual blocks, didn't change the accuracy or the performance much. So, it wasn't dependent that each model had some like really high value was a paper was published which said that even after removing a few resonant blocks, the accuracy didn't drop much. So they mainly focused on that, and they started to think, like, instead of dropouts worked on each neurons, they worked on like dropping off the whole layers. So it was like a dropping off or selecting that layer. So it was like they mentioned it like an hard attention that if the layer is relevant, then you need to take it. If not, then you need to drop it. So for the gate, coming to the most important part, which is the gate here, the gate has basically just a discrete value of 0 to 1, which is like added to this ResNet function. So this is the ResNet, this is the short connection part, this is the normal function, and this is the gate that is added, Z of XL minus 1. So the input to the gate is the previous layers, like the value of the previous layer, and it somehow computes and decides whether it's 0 or 1. So how does it somehow compute is that the gate is divided into two parts. The first half of the gate like computes the current input and gives a score or a function kind of score, which it passes to the second half, and that decides. So the first half they named it as estimating relevance, and what it actually did was it was a downsampling. So this is the gate function, the gate. And what they did is that they downsampled it into downsampled it using the global average pooling, and passed it this f function here is like ReLU for just creating nonlinearity, and they gave two scores, either to like take it or not. So that was used as a gate. So this had mainly two problems, which was mode collapse and gradient propagation. So what exactly are these two problems? Like it gives us two values, right? One value told us like if we need to take this gate or not. So it's like using a dense layer, the output in the two dimension. Okay, so giving out two values. So it was whether to take it or not. So this created two problems, that either the model won't learn and make things like taking all the layers always. So this problem would lead to like trivial solutions, taking all the gates always, or taking all the layers always, or not taking any layer. So not taking layer does not make any sense, but yeah, taking all the layers would make sense. So the model could do like it's always passing all the images through all the layers. So that would give us the result, but that does not solve the main purpose of the paper. The second issue was gradient propagation, that here a discrete value is given whether it's taken or not. While having a back propagation, the gradients won't be calculated because it's like a discrete and it's non-differentiable. Like a discrete value would cause that problem, right? So for that they proposed a solution. No, like for the first issue, they proposed adding a Gumbel noise. So it is a type of just noise which has like a special property for like mathematics. It They explained why Gumbel noise is like really good for adding, but it's basically a noise. And they did this for adding like stochasticity and randomness to the gate and the value. So like why exactly did they chose Gumbel noise? All the explanation, not explanation, but the important like the reason is like mentioned in the paper, and it's like maths behind it. So I can share the link, but yeah. So it's the Gumbel noise they have added to create that stochasticity and randomness, so that the model does not collapse into like always zero and always one. And for this gradient propagation, what they have done is that a previous paper on the same in the same conference, uh, the previous year, mentioned this type of technique, that in the forward pass we can have a discrete value, but in the backward pass a softmax can be created, and the backward pass could be done on this softmax. So what they did was that here they calculated both the things, the discrete and the the softmax. Through the softmax they did the back propagation, and through the discrete one they did the forward propagation and the training. So both the things were like solved, but still to accompany this, to push it so that it does not really fall into this trivial solutions issue, they also made some changes to the loss function. The loss function is that this multi-class classification is like what the model actually needs. So this is the general one. They added the L target loss, which states that every layer in the model needs to be selected t% of all the, like it should be selected t% times. So this is called the target rate loss. For example, you can say a layer needs to be selected 60%. So all the testing and training they have done is for t is equal to 0.6, which is 60% of the times. This helped that the model like would take, to reduce the loss, it would take a particular layer 60% of the times approximately, and would classify that when should it take it or when should it not. It was like upon the model, which we'll come to the observations that it really did that. No, while like the testing time, it's faster, right? It does not need to go through all the layers. So 33, yeah, 33% of the layers were like reduced in ResNet 101. Yes. Yeah. So while like final outputting the result, that you had to like go through less layers. So the results are like this is the operations like per second kind of thing. So it's a metric, and we get to know that for ResNet 50, it took like 20% less operations, and they mentioned that only 82% of the layers were chosen in like ResNet, yeah, 101, not 110, sorry. In ResNet 101, only 82% of the layers were chosen. So the rest layers were not that relevant. And okay, so it's not the case that all the birds, 82% were chosen. So like 18% were skipped. So it was like it's not the case that all the birds, for example, here would go through the same layers. It's dependent on that image particularly. So here, for example, these all layers on the bottom needed more layers to compute, as it's like a pretty iconic and different images. The dog here really doesn't look like a dog, but the simple images needed few layers to like pass through, and the complex images needed like more layers. So it's image dependent and also the class dependent. Uh, the image, like the conclusion with this image is that the model, okay, so what this image actually is, on the y-axis it has the 1000 ImageNet classes, whereas on the x-axis it has all the layers. This is a replication of ResNet 50 in their gated mechanism, and this is for ResNet 101 in their gated mechanism. For here, the author has classified it into like two different sections: the man-made objects and the animals. And it can be seen that the model itself is performing a bit different for both of them. I'll explain how. For this, the gated mechanism, like all the layers, the option for all the layers were given to the model itself to choose whether to take or not. So the end layer or the downsampling layers were like always chosen, and it is like obvious that the model, if it needs to predict, it would choose the downsampling layers and finally go and predict. So the yellow, pure yellow, means that it was always executed, although it was given a t value of zero point 0.6. So it even tried to like overcome that zero point 0.6 and go to 1, because these layers are important, the last layers. Uh, Other thing that we can see is that the man-made objects, like they even use the last few layers itself, and the living or the animals didn't use them. So this was basically because he concluded that the living objects don't, like, it was one okay, this is what he said, that one less residual block was needed to compute all the living animals than the man-made, because they are less complex. And like that's it, that it took really less time to compute for the living objects. So this is the conclusion, that not only like all the feed forward layers need not to be fixed, and this technique like helps in reducing time, like the testing time. So no, not in the paper. They haven't mentioned that if they have like extrapolated it to object detection or something like that. But yes, it can be used because it's like helping in that sense itself. So, uh, anything else? Like, any other doubt? Yes. Uh, I didn't read upon if there were any, but I guess obviously there might have been, because the application of this is itself in the like it's really application based, right? So there might have been, I haven't researched upon that. Anything else, any other like doubt? Training time, yeah, because we need to, not that much, because just the difference in training would be here. Uh, yes, you can say just the difference comes here itself, right? Just calculating two different things. Uh, for training itself, the back propagation requires just the same thing, just a computational cost of this argmax would be a little bit more. So I guess I'll stop the recording and